So the 2026 baseball season is finally here, but before the Phillies kick off their first game, I just wanted to share some experiences I had during this year's spring training. And to start it off, one of the players that was really fun to watch during the spring training and has me really excited to see how he does in the 26th season is center fielder Justin Crawford. He started spring training with his first at bat having a leadoff double, and the entire spring training, he kept the same energy. Now, a lot of people do criticize him because he doesn't get a lot of air on the ball, but he does make contact and he rarely strikes out. Now, I do understand that is in spring training, so in the regular season, it might not be the same story, but he's one of the fastest players, or he was one of the fastest players in the minors last year, and I think he could definitely compete with that in the majors. And when that comes with stealing bases and also on the defensive side playing center field, I think he can add a lot to the Phillies team in the 26th season. The second player that has me really excited this year is Aaron Nola. Now, last year he did struggle. He had some injuries. He was not able to play as much as he wanted to, or even play to the standard I think that he has for himself. But I think coming into this year, he has a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's at a place to where he's going to have a really good season. He already kind of showcased that a little bit in the World Baseball Classic for Italy. So I'm really excited to see how he does. Now, speaking of those two players, what was actually really cool from me personally, I was actually able to get both of their autographs, two separate spring training games that I went to. And the third player that I'm really excited to see for this season is what I think everybody else would expect, and that's Bryce Harper. Now, a lot of people have been counting him out, saying he's washed, saying, he's out of his prime and all this kind of stuff. So I think he's really going to come into this season trying to prove a lot of people wrong. And to be honest with you, I think that's when Bryce Harper is at its best. He's only 33 years old, so he still has a lot of good years ahead of him. But like I said, I think he's one of those guys that he really fuels himself off of the doubt and the hate and the stuff that kind of comes his way. But back to the spring training side of things, if you've never been able to get down to Clearwater, I would definitely recommend it. It's a really good time, very laid back environment. You're able to kind of watch the players get back into a rhythm, but also kind of enjoy yourself while you're there as well. Obviously, you got the Philly fanatic there, being a menace and trolling and doing all his antics and stuff. So it's definitely a fun time if you've never been there. But also, you get to watch some of the practices that they do before the games. Most of it is a lot of the minor league guys, which, I think is kind of cool too. You see some of the up-and-coming guys. But the very last game of spring training, I was able to attend, and, I didn't know what to expect. I went to the practice fields. The minors had the day off, but there was still a couple of people out there, so I decided to check it out. Zach Wheeler actually ended up doing some simulated innings and stuff, so I was able to get some footage of that. That was pretty cool. I'm not sure what his rehab thing has been through the spring training. I haven't really seen much of him. Like, obviously he's not playing and that kind of thing, but I don't know, like, that very well might have been his first, like, real workout of, like, pitching to that level. So that was pretty cool to see. Bryce Harper actually came out, gave him a hug and stuff after he finished his session. So it's kind of cool to see the guys rally around him. There was some other guys there too. I think Chris Sanchez, Aaron Nola, a couple other dudes just kind of supported him in that time. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season. I think they really do have a squad that can compete. I know a lot of people wanted them to kind of blow the team up this past season, but you come into a year like this, they added a couple pieces here and there with Garcia in the right field, and then they have Crawford that they were able to call up to play center field, but you kept the core together. A lot of these guys have camaraderie together. They have a lot of, history together. So they kind of know the ins and outs of how they all like to do things. And, they have that relationship and all those sort of things to handle tough moments and stuff that, a season can kind of throw at them. So I'm personally a fan of how they put this team together. Obviously time will tell, but I definitely think they have a roster that can compete. But, we'll see how it goes. So we got the Texas Rangers tonight, so we'll see what happens for opening night and then our opening day for them, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see it. I'll catch you guys next time.